We're here at Brand Innovators Culture Summit at 7-Eleven headquarters in Irving, Texas. And a lot of you over the course of the past year and today on some of the videos have seen me wearing my Ripple On hat. I have Let's Ripple shirts. I have stickers on my computer. And I know I've spoken about this before, but I just want to give credit where credit is due because Steve Harper is Mr. Ripple On. Steve created this whole concept of that every action creates a ripple effect. So take an action, make a difference. And what we're doing here today at Brand Innovators is we are rippling. We are talking to people. We are building relationships. And one of the reasons I adopted this, as you know, I tend to adopt other people's things that I think are really relevant to me, make sense, but especially with return on relationships. When Steve reached out to me years and years ago, he said, you know, we need to be talking because rippling and return on relationship go together so well. And here's a perfect example. I'm here with Knox Keith, and he is the guy who is responsible for all these videos. And Knox met Steve when I brought him to the South by Southwest event in March. And I know Knox has become a big advocate for rippling. And you guys see me use the hashtags also, Let's Ripple, Ripple On, because again, it goes so much in line with relationships. And I like to say relationships are like muscle tissue. The more you engage them, the stronger, more valuable they become. And that's just right in line with starting a ripple and making a difference. So I'd love to hear Knox's perspective on this.
So yeah, Ripple On is such an important part of what we do in business, right? It goes back to what you started with return on relationships as well. And what I like about it is in the digital age, right, it's harder to be in person doing things, right? So what I try to teach people on social media in different places is how do you build and nurture relationships in a digital format, right? So one of the things we do, and you do it all the time, I love it, is you comment on my posts, at a minimum you like it, and we do the same thing with Steve Harper's stuff, right? He's posting good stuff. And back when all the social media stuff started, the saying was share good stuff or share good shit, depending on which audience you're going to, right? So many people have moved away from that, right? Where they're shouting or they're yelling or doing other things, but as you build relationships and you're adding value to each other, you're creating that ripple effect, right? You drop that stone in, it ripples. You drop another stone in, it ripples. And why can't we ripple together? So Ripple On is all of that. It's building relationships, it's nurturing relationships, it's adding value in different levels that really makes everything warmer and more connective and like better connection, right? Even though it can be at a distance or over digital platforms.
And then another thing, just a great example is Steve has this concept. He hands out these hats. I love t-shirts and hats that have a message. And the reason I love them is it creates conversation. When someone sees you, they can either ask about the hat, they remark about it, or the t-shirt. I wear t-shirts with messages, whether it's Be Good to People or Let's Ripple or a dozen other things that I champion. And it allows people to have an easy conversation with you. You guys know I like to wear funky socks, okay? And I tag them Ted Psaki. And some people make fun of it. They say, oh man, enough with the socks. But truth be told, I can't tell you how many people walk up to me at events and start the conversation by, what socks you wearing? We were just here with John Starkweather, and it was one of the questions he asked. And it's not so much about about what it is, but it's something that's really true about you. It's true to your brand. It's not something you're developing to create attention. It's something that brings attention along with it that is about you. And one other thing I love is that Steve gave me this coin. So the coin is a reminder because I don't always have a t-shirt or a hat on, but truth be told, this coin is in my pocket all the time. And it's a reminder, just like Be Good to People. I wear a Be Good to People bracelet. I have it on the back of my phone and people sometimes say to me, well, why are you shouting out to people to be good to people? People should know that. I go, well, first of all, it's really more about me than it's about them. When I'm wearing something that says be good to people, it makes you a nicer person because as some people have said to me, you gotta be a real, and I'm gonna leave out the word in this video, to wear something that says be good to people and then be nasty to people. So it's a reminder to me because like a lot of other people, okay, I'm a New Yorker and I tend to react to things sometimes, but you know, someone bunks into you, someone stops short in front of you, and your initial reaction might be to have some harsh words, but when you're wearing something that says be good to people, it's a reminder to yourself to just take a breath and say, have a nice day.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that's almost like the butterfly effect too, right? So instead, like someone cuts you off, okay, you know, misjudgment, right? We all have misjudgments. So if I'm going to forgive them, then I need to forgive myself when I do that. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, right? When you're driving. So those things are so important. But one of the other things I always like that you talk about is human to human relationships, right? Not B2B, not B2C. And something as simple as socks, right, is as simple as humanizing who Ted Rubin is. And for me, it's become tacos. I grew up in South Texas, heavily Hispanic Latina community, and we ate tacos every day. So one year, years ago, I posted something about on Taco Tuesday how much I love tacos.
I see your Taco Tuesday posts all the time.
And it sticks, right? And so you've talked about this where like people you barely know will send you a pair of socks in the mail.
All
right?
the time.
So I have friends and clients who I haven't spoken to in forever see a meme about Taco Tuesday and they send it to me, right? So on Facebook, for example, I probably have had this month, because it's December, 12 people tag me on the Christmas tree that's made out of tacos. Right? But it's that ripple effect of reminding why we have a connection, right? What's important with Ted, or something that innocuous that builds a bond or a relationship with people that allows you to ripple on and reminds you to take that breath and remember we're all human. It's okay to make mistakes, but I need to be forgiving with other people like I would expect them to be with me.
Exactly, and it just makes it easy for people to connect with you. So everybody out there, remember about return on relationship and ripple on.